If I were to buy a house in Los Angeles today, this is what I would do. Buying a house today in this market is tougher than ever. Even in the last few years, you know how crazy it's been. But having owned two homes for the last several years and also owning investment properties, I've definitely learned a thing or two. And working with my clients and also hearing from my subscribers and viewers about the challenges that they're facing in this market really got me thinking. If I bought a house today in Los Angeles, here's exactly what I would do. So in this video, I'm going to share with you, not just from a realtor perspective, but also as a homeowner. I'm going to walk you through the things that I would personally do if I were buying a house in today's market. All right, let's get into it. The first thing I would do is face the reality of the local market. As you know, I'm here in Los Angeles, and for the most part, we're in a balanced market. Yes, there's some neighborhoods that have more of a strong sellers market. Some other areas are definitely flatter and seeing corrections of 7 to 8% across LA County, right? But there are many areas in the country where it's still an extreme seller's market, and others where you've definitely seen price depreciation for sure. So you really need to get real about your local market and really understand what's happening there. If you're in a strong seller's market, you have to face the reality that there's going to be bidding wars and multiple offers, and you need to be able to prepare yourself to deal with that. If you happen to be in a buyer's market, obviously you're going to have more of an upper hand. You just have to accept that reality and being able to adjust, right? So that's number one. The next thing I do, I make sure I'm financially ready to buy a house. I have all my ducks in a row, including the down payment. Personally, I like to put 20% down. So that's not always possible. You can obviously get in with 3.5%, 5% down payment. But ideally, in an ideal world, it'd be great if you can put 20% down. If you can't do it, that's fine, but you just know your number and save for it. And then most importantly, don't forget about closing costs. That can be about 2% or even a little higher of the sales price. And emergency fund, something I think a lot of buyers typically forget about. So I learned the hard way with our first house. Right after closing, we spent a lot of money on furniture and extras. And then when there were some things wrong with the house, guess what? We didn't really have quite enough in savings. So that wasn't really a brilliant idea, the best way to go about doing it. I'd probably never do that again. If I were buying now, I'd make sure I had all the savings ready before even talking to a lender. Okay? Another smart move is to look at homes that have been sitting on the market for a while. Now, this is something I always talk to my clients about often, because if a house is sitting on the market for more than 2 weeks or definitely a month, the number one reason is usually price. Sometimes it's location. Maybe they back into the railroad tracks or it's on a busy street, something like that. But typically, it usually happens to be price. So it can't hurt to take a look and see if the seller would consider a lower offer. Now, I recently had a client buy a home that had been on the market for 121 days, and we got them a solid deal with a bunch of seller credits because the seller was motivated. Now, I'm not saying to take advantage of sellers, but often there's a lot of room to negotiate, and you don't know unless you ask. And this is typically more the case the longer the house has been sitting on the market. Okay? Next, I would also hire a really great real estate agent. Now, I'm here in Los Angeles and love to be your trusted real estate advisor here in Los Angeles. But if you need a real estate agent across the country, let me know. And I work with so many incredible agents around the country that have helped so many of our clients leaving California, going to other parts, not just of California, but the rest of the country and the world. So that is something I can definitely assist you with. All right, next, I would shop multiple lenders for the best interest rate, especially since the interest rates are higher than they were a few years ago. Now, I always talk to different lenders when we purchase home. If you get pre-approved with one lender but find a better rate elsewhere, go back to your original lender and ask them if they're going to be able to match it. Many times they often will. Now, especially now with higher interest rates, shopping around is really critical. An eighth of a point really can make a difference. So along with that, I would probably clean up my debt for sure. So lenders look closely at your debt to income ratio. It has to be under 50%. If you have too much debt, you'll either not qualify or the interest rate that you're going to be able to obtain is going to be higher. So paying off credit cards, loans, or any other debt is going to improve your chances and also helps you secure a better interest rate. Another important factor is being strategic about location. Real estate is all about location, location, location. How many times have you heard that before? So I'd focus on neighborhoods with good accessibility to highways, shopping, and parks. I'd also consider homes that might need updating. You think, gosh, I don't want to have to deal with a fixer. But remember, if a house is older and less updated than others in the neighborhood, guess what? You're probably going to be able to buy it at a really good price. That's an opportunity. And once you improve it, the value will go up, especially in a good location. That's what we did with one of our homes years ago, and it needed updates, and we invested over time, and now it's worth quite a bit more. So also, you should be taking a look at school boundaries, right? So if you're going to be looking at a neighborhood that the schools are rated quite high online, well, that's going to provide a lot of value to your home living in that particular neighborhood. So when it comes to making an offer, you really need to be strategic. Now, in a seller's market, I'd ensure a strong down payment, flexible closing, limited inspections. That doesn't mean waiving your inspections, but in shortening your inspection time period contingencies. Now, if necessary, I consider an appraisal gap coverage, or if you feel comfortable your down payment's high enough, you might be able to waive that appraisal contingency, right? If it actually makes sense. But in buyer's markets, you have the leverage, right? You can ask for repairs, seller concessions, or credits towards closing costs. These things are becoming really common again. We're starting to see them again over the last several months. And you should definitely, if you're a buyer right now in a buyer's market, be taking advantage of them. Sometimes during inspection, big repairs come up. Now, sometimes it could be $15,000, $45,000. Often you'd ask for a credit. But another option is renegotiating the purchase price instead. And I've had clients do this, and it's benefited both sides. The buyer paid less while the seller saved on taxes and the commissions they paid to the agent. Since the recorded sale, the sales price was lower. So it is worth bringing up with your agent. And when it comes to inspections right now, you really need to make sure you do all of your inspections, right? Whether it be your general home inspection, a roof, termite, sewer line inspection, and if it warrants it, definitely have a mold inspection as well. All right, finally, the last thing, I'd be thinking about long-term about the home. I wouldn't be scared off by interest rates because they may come down in the future. We've already seen them come down already from the low sevens, now getting closer to the lower sixes. So you're probably going to have a chance at some point to be able to refinance your home. But I'd only buy what I can afford today, not what I think I can afford tomorrow, what you can afford today. Refinancing is an option, but the monthly payment today needs to be comfortable for you right now. I wouldn't let the fear of rising prices or rage push me right into overspending. The bottom line is I can't control the market. Nobody can. But I can control my finances. And I buy smart and stay unemotional. And I think long-term about appreciation. I think that's the mindset you have to have if you're buying in this market right now. These are the steps that I would take if I were buying a house today. Thanks for watching and getting your dose of real estate reality with me, Scott Himmelstein with the Scott Himmelstein Group, your trusted Los Angeles real estate agent, and I'll see you next time.